Hi all. So let's talk about data. Now, when you say data and raw information and what are the difference between them, let me say a couple of numbers to you. Something like 72, 85, 90, and so on. So these three numbers, 72, 85, and 90, does it mean anything to you? Yes, you have learned counting, you know these are numbers, but beyond that, what? Without any context that these are mere numbers and it doesn't hold any value for you. Okay. So now let's add some context to these numbers. So these are, let's say, John's numbers. I mean, John's exam scores during the final exam last year. So that means these are reasonable, good numbers. Okay. With the added context of these are the scores of John during last year's final exam, these numbers started making a bit of sense. Now, I said these are reasonably good numbers. I mean, I assumed that he has scored them out of 100. But to somebody with some additional context, let's say that 90% of his class scored more than 95%. So now these numbers are not that good right now with that context brought into the picture that 90% of the class have scored more than 95%. But then let's introduce one more context. He was bedridden for 3 months before the exam. So now these numbers seem good again. So there is raw information and there is some context. The moment we add some context to raw figures, we get information. So a context brings meaningfulness into any of the numbers or data that you have. Otherwise, it remains meaningless. So next, why data is so valuable? So let's say, what did you buy? Ask yourself this question. What did you buy in the Christmas holidays of 2020? Was it a big ticket for purchase or it's a small thing, small gift for somebody? Just try to recall. Maybe you can't recall. Okay. You might have made that purchase online, let's say. So in the sea of data, the volume of data we are generating every day, that single purchase holds no value, right? I mean, let's say you spent $1,000 for something. How much value does that hold? For a business who is selling products and services to you, it holds a huge amount of potential, that number. For example, I can say, if I get your 2020 purchase, so I from that, I can sort of guess your ability, how much you can spend on a Christmas holiday. Then next 5 years, 5 years have been passed. So I can assume that you must be willing to spend a similar amount, or even higher than that for this Christmas holiday. And that is a single dot. And if I figure out all your spending patterns over the 5 years, I'll connect the dots and I'll have make a bigger picture. Now I can have a picture that this person is interested in these kind of stuffs. He normally spends this sort of amount on these kind of services and products. So then, as a business, I can push you things. I'm I can give you arts, contextual arts. I mean, make myself more willing to sell those products which you are going to buy. I mean, For your Christmas purchase, I could have suggested you 10 things. But now I have narrowed down to two or three which you are more interested in. So that is the value that data holds. This is just simple example, but it can be, potential is huge. So for example, anything that can be personalized will definitely help a business. Instead of, hi there, please buy my product. If I just call you by your first name, hi, your name, and then please, I build a context, I build a relationship, and then say that I have a product to sell, then that makes more sense. So that's why data in today's world, it is very valuable. It is digital gold. Now, next, how can I say that even junk data, seemingly junk data, because no data is junk, how it can derive great value? For example, I'm just giving a simple example, location pings from towers. If I look at it, it's just a random number. But from that, we understand traffic pattern. If near some tower location, there are lot of pings happening, that means that area is kind of busy, more people are out there. So based on that, we can definitely utilize that information to plan cities, identify traffic patterns, target ads to people. Now, in the age of AI, now previously it was data, then we were doing business intelligence, we are trying to figure out user spending patterns, what user is interested in. Now, currently, I mean, AI is everywhere. So, but how AI has made this giant progress or giant strides in the last few years? Reason being, AI learns from data, learns from our behavioral patterns, learns from how we speak, what we do. And once that information is available, they have built a model that can help, that can somehow mimic what we are doing on its own. This is, to explain in layman's term, uh, I follow a certain pattern in my life. And if my life is fed into a AI model as information, as data, and like me, there are 1,000 people's, 1,000 people's information is fed into the model. Now the model learns from them. Like if this happens, how this person reacts. And from there, it learns to behave like a human or show human kind of intelligence. So basically, what I'm trying to imply here is AI feeds from data and feeds data and learns from data. So if we have better data, we'll have smarter AI models. And this is a glitch, but AI without data is car without fuel. Because unless and until AI, artificial intelligence is mimicking human intelligence. How? It learns from humans. It learns from data. If it is not available, then AI cannot work. So data is the bridge between human decision making and AI predictions. So AI models actually utilize the decision makings that has happened earlier as data and then follow the pattern and do the predictions. Bottom line, so to simplify, we are talking about junk numbers like 92, 73, and once we keep adding context to it, it becomes a very significant number. And it becomes a very significant information. So value of data is how it is used. For you, what did you buy in 2020? Doesn't matter. Maybe you bought a phone, and you used it for 3 or 4 years. Now it is not usable. It is somewhere in the corner of the room. You don't know where it is, and it doesn't value. It doesn't hold any value to you right now. But for a business, it holds a lot of value because it can learn your spending pattern during holidays, and it can plan its next product that it wants you to sell, or it can expect that these are the products you are planning to purchase, maybe planning to purchase, and that can help the business grow its sales. So data is not, I mean, just a number or just some random digits. But in the AI era, data is everything, digital gold. So we need to learn how to deal with the data, how to handle data, how to cleanse data, how to utilize it to arrive at some patterns or some information which is useful for a business to grow. So, I mean, I tried my best to explain how the context, added context, makes no raw numbers the information that is valuable, and how we can utilize that in benefiting an organization, maybe the planet, maybe anything else, maybe personal improvement, anywhere, how the data can be used. I'm just giving a broader context. If that helps, hope that helps, I would say. Thank you.